Have you ever been in a meeting where a group jumps straight into solutions only to realize later they weren't even solving the right problem? Or maybe you've worked on a project where goals keep shifting, making it impossible to make progress. That's what happens when we don't take the time to define the opportunity clearly. And that's why step 1 of the decision-making framework is so critical. Most bad decisions don't come from bad analysis. They come from poorly defined problems. If we don't frame the opportunity correctly up front, everything else that follows, our alternatives, our analysis, even our final decision, will be built on a shaky foundation. So before we start looking at solutions, we need to ask, what exactly are we trying to achieve? Step 1 of Enabling Empowerment's decision-making framework focuses on clarity and alignment. Our goal in this step is to clearly define the decision we need to make, align stakeholders on the objectives and constraints, identify the size of the prize, the potential value we could capture to ensure this opportunity is worth pursuing, and avoid framing traps that could lead us in the wrong direction. This step may seem simple, but many teams get it wrong. Let's look at some common pitfalls. First, jumping to solutions too quickly. We often assume we already know the best solution. Instead, we need to slow down and fully define the problem before exploring alternatives. Second, confusing symptoms with root causes. Teams sometimes focus on fixing visible issues instead of addressing the underlying problem. To avoid this, use root cause analysis tools like 5 Whys, cause mapping, or a fishbone diagram to dig deeper. Third, focusing on the wrong problems or opportunities. We can't pursue every opportunity at once. To prioritize effectively, we need to identify the size of the prize and ensure that the opportunity is worth solving. Fourth, framing the problem too narrowly or broadly. If the scope is too narrow, we limit our options. If it's too broad, we risk analysis paralysis. The key is to define a scope that allows for meaningful comparisons of alternatives. So how do we do this right? Here are 5 steps to ensure we avoid decision traps and maximize our options. Step 1, understand the problem thoroughly. This is really important. Go observe the issue firsthand and talk to multiple stakeholders to get diverse perspectives. Don't assume you already know the full picture. Step 2, perform root cause analysis. Identify and address the underlying causes rather than just treating symptoms. Use an appropriate tool like 5 Whys, cause mapping, or fishbone analysis to get to the deeper issue. Step 3, develop your initial problem opportunity statement. If you're starting with a problem, consider reframing it as an opportunity. Then ask yourself, does the statement present a binary solution? Either do it or don't do it. Does it describe a symptom rather than the core issue? Does it assume the problem is a lack of time, money, or people? If you answer yes to any of these, you need to refine the statement further. The best decision makers frame problems in a way that opens the door to multiple creative alternatives. Consider these examples of bad problem statements and better problem statements. I need a new house versus the ratio of stuff to space in my house is too high. I need a new car versus the reliability cost of my car is too low or too high. I need a raise versus I can't cover my expenses. I need more people versus I need to reduce the ratio of work to resources. The bad statements force a yes/no decision. The better statements create space for multiple solutions. Step 4, identify the size of the prize. Estimate how much the problem or opportunity is worth solving. This should be a quick, rough estimate. We're just trying to understand if it's worth the time and effort to analyze. Use big round numbers rather than getting lost in precise forecasts. Step 5, test your framing with others. Get feedback from decision makers, end users, and frontline employees to ensure your framing is aligned. Let's apply this to our case study. In the previous lesson, you learned that you're the operations manager at Awesome Widgets Incorporated. Demand for widgets has increased by 120,000 units per year, but your plant can't keep up. The widget turning process is a bottleneck. It requires 3 employees and results in a 4% yield loss due to manual handling. Your boss asks you to evaluate whether the company should invest in a Widget Turner 5000, a machine that automates the process. Now, take a moment to think about how you would frame this problem or opportunity and write it down. Press pause if you need more time. Okay, let's see how you did. There's no single correct answer, but some options are stronger than others. Let's start with a weak statement. We have an opportunity to buy a Widget Turner 5000 to automate the widget turning process. Now, let's run that through our test questions from earlier. Does this statement present only a binary solution? Does it describe a symptom instead of a core issue? Does it assume the problem is a lack of time, money, or people? Does this pass the test? No. It fails on the first question because it leaves us with a yes/no decision. Buy the widget turner 5000 or don't. Now, let's try another option. We have an opportunity to sell 120,000 more widgets every year if we can increase the capacity of the widget turning process. Does this pass the test? It presents multiple ways to increase capacity. It identifies the true bottleneck. It frames the issue as an opportunity, not just a problem. This is much stronger framing. The next step is to identify the size of the prize, how much value we could capture. Referring to the Widget Turner 5000 case study, we see that the sales manager estimates we can sell the extra widgets at a profit margin of $1.20 per widget. 120,000 units times $1.20 per unit equals $144,000 a year. Does this seem like an opportunity worth pursuing? We don't know what other opportunities Awesome Widgets Incorporated has, but $144,000 in additional profit per year seems worth investigating. Next, we'll move on to step 2, identifying creative alternatives, where we explore multiple solutions before making a decision.